Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us for this week's live show. And welcome back, Steph. So nice to see you. How have you been?
I know it's been so long.
It
I
has
actually
been a
thought we had
while,
a
right?
live stream. Yeah, I think last time I was like, oh, is there a live stream? Matt didn't text me. So then I had to go back and watch the live. Well, actually skip to the end. I didn't have time to watch the whole thing. And I was like, oh, so you don't have a live. Okay.
You could just text me, though. That still works, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
that's true.
So Steph was away on holidays for a couple of weeks, and then I was away shooting last weekend, and then today we've moved it to an earlier day because after this, I'm heading out for shooting all Saturday afternoon and all day Sunday. So thanks for joining us today,
Oh.
folks. Um, and where are you, Steph? Somewhere in New York.
Yeah, I am somewhere in upstate New York. I'm actually here with Joanne, and we're actually trying to plan the next art school dropout short film shoot, which I'm really excited about. Thinking about doing some like 360 behind the scenes, like live streams for the patrons on Patreon, probably next
Ah,
week. So I have to
okay.
schedule that. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. Um, Lots of planning, lots of work.
Nice, nice. That actually leads me nicely to two pieces of housekeeping that I often forget until the end. Talking of your Patreon, I don't know if I even talked to you about this, but I put live a members library, which is my first subscription thing that I'm doing. It's not through Patreon, and it's not
Mhm.
it's kind of, Steph and I had chatted in the past that I never got into doing Patreon or any of those kind of things because couldn't find where I'd be able to add value and do it consistently in a way that I'd feel like I'm giving
Mhm.
people something for their money and or have the bandwidth and consistency to give behind the scenes and that kind of thing like Steph and her crew do. But I thought this is a way. I have this 15 years and I just checked 1.4 million images in my archive of shoots from over
Holy
that
hell.
time. So I'm making this members only library where each month we add two new ebooks. So I launched it a couple of weeks ago with 8 ebooks. It's all over at Art Nude Portraiture. And the sale for that is ending on Monday, the membership price. So there's a one-time joining fee, then a monthly price for that one. So if you guys are interested, get involved before Monday because the price jump is on Monday. And for next
Oh.
week, after Steph dropping hints very subtly for the last few months, and we had a few viewers in the last few weeks suggesting it. Do you want to tell them what our theme is for next week, Steph?
I mean, you can tell them.
I'm so thrilled. If you've
Yeah,
been
so
following
excited.
for a while, you would know my least favorite style of editing is when someone desaturates the whole photo except for one element or one color channel. And I often give that feedback, but it's only fair that people who do like that style have a chance to win too. So next week, our theme is spot color or selective color. So enter your best work, and someone is going to win for a selective color entry. So,
You're so excited.
well, it's just an opinion. So it's not that I'm right that they're
Yeah.
not great images. And maybe I'll be blown away by the creative use of a single
Yeah.
color in images that would be great to see. So that is already listed up at the website. The time may change that we're going to do the live because Steph and her team are out filming, so we may switch it to be uh, morning in America and evening in Asia. So I'll update that on the
Mhm.
site, and then the actual live stream will also be correct. So you'll see that. So now let's jump in. I have an hour, and then I need to get out. I'm shooting. A friend is participating in a fitness competition this week, and I'm doing a
Ooh.
documentary photo project on it through the whole process. And today is registration and fake tanning and beautification and all of that kind of stuff. So I got to be on time.
Dang.
So let's jump in. Today's theme is the beach. We'll go through and do a few images each and give you our thoughts. And I'll be giving away some prizes. You can choose either. Um, It's a bit tricky to give people membership to the members only library because then I'm kind of giving you free membership, but then you'd be on the hook for the monthly fee. But if anyone wants that as their prize and they're a winner, you're welcome to. Otherwise, we can get you another prize at that or my non nude courses as well. So, we're going to go through and look at the images without names this time, just so we can, we'll recap and give names at the end, but as we look at them, so we're not jaded because we see the names again and again, not jaded, not kind of prejudice or giving favor, that kind of thing. So let's take a look here. Our first image, Steph, should be a beautiful woman in a huge flowing kind of maroony peachy gown with a seagull protecting her overhead. Do you want to do the first three? And I will just say
Sure.
I really like this one and pick.
Okay, I wanted to make sure that like the seagull wasn't like a composite just like thrown in there. Actually, it's funny because these dresses, I've looked up like long flowy dresses for photo shoots. They're expensive. There's actually a site that you can rent these. But
See, I
anyways,
think if you
I
wanted
like
to
the
do
pose.
something like this, though, Steph, I think that's a regular dress, and then she has just tied it on at the back. So if you bought 20 foot of fabric, you could make that yourself. I think I know the ones you mean. My
Really?
friend Suki wears them, and it's like a ball gown or a pageant gown, but with like a 20-foot train. But this one's actually joining at
Mm-hmm.
her waist, so I think that's just maybe
This
a
still seems
DIY one.
kind of long, but
Oh, it's long, but I mean, it's
um,
joined at the back, not like from the bottom, you know?
oh,
What do you
gotcha.
think of the pick?
I like it. I like it. I just don't. I personally don't like the lens or the light flares that's going on the image. Like there's like a circle like on her face, like
Hmm.
on like the side of her face, on her arm. Personally, for me, I find that distracting. I think I would have liked a very clear like look of her. Um, but so okay, so this is like a hard question because the theme is beach.
Hmm.
This is a woman on a beach, and I find that like, is that good enough to constitute it as a beach photo just because there's subjects on a beach?
So that's a
Or is
fair
that
question.
just thinking way too deep into
No,
this?
no, I mean, that's as surface as you can get, in my opinion. So, for those who are watching from home as well, so first of all, for those who are joining us for the first time, hi, and thank you so much. And for the regulars, you've heard this, but I'll try and keep it quick. When we're reviewing photos, this is one photographer and one model slash videographer slash producer slash jack of all trades opinion. We're not saying that it's right or wrong, and if we don't love your shot, then don't take it to heart. Um,
Mhm.
but for the competitions, I do want to make it as inclusive as possible. So the fact that we can see it's at a beach, it qualifies. And then if it's a great shot, it can
Okay.
win. But for sure, if you feel like the beach is irrelevant to making the shot, then you can discount it. I normally try and say it qualifies, but then is the beach an important element? Is the beach part of what's making it work? And for me, maybe
Mm.
the beach is obviously a background element here, but having the seagull really prominent tells us we're near the beach. And this, the breeze and the sense of freedom, I think, is what a lot of people go and sit on the
Mhm.
beach for. So it's kind of like a super stylized one. Before I hand back the mic to you, this is like Toastmasters or something where I hand you the talking stick. Um, I have a feeling that the lens flare may have been added. I could be wrong, but this is shot on the Canon EOS R with the 28-70 f2 lens, and I would be surprised if it had that prominent a lens flare on Canon's flagship lens.
Mm.
I could be wrong though.
I mean, I guess it does give her kind of angelic, I can't even talk today, angelic effect. But personally, I think I would just like it to be more clear. That's just what I would like to have, I guess, for the shot.
Excellent. Just to calibrate, let's. Oh, and Aaron Chosso is in the room. He said you can get these dresses for $250 to $450, and the lens flare was added. So there you go.
Oh,
So depending on if you're doing it for one shoot, still $400 for a single outfit could be out of a lot of people's budget, but if you're going to shoot a lot, then maybe it's fine.
Yeah.
Now, just to calibrate, we need to pick up the pace a little bit if we're going to get these done in an hour. So that was me
Yeah, I know.
interrupting.
Okay.
What do you think of this one? Blue, kind of turquoise bikini.
Um, I like the view of the ocean and whatnot. I personally think I would have shot it a little bit more level to like the sand, like just lower to the ground and just shooting a little bit more upwards, get more of the sky and have like I don't know. I just think that a better, I think a different angle would have worked for this shot.
Knowing where to put the sun is a difficult one here. You could put it right behind
Hmm.
her elbow as an option, and you never know till you're there. But she's got this pose is giving her really pronounced rib cage, so shooting too low may have made that look actually more unusual. I'm not sure if you have
Mm.
smoothed out the face or she just has perfect complexion, but her face tone and texture do look different to her legs and stomach, for example. What do you think of Crystal Cove? That's somewhere I wouldn't mind to have a picnic.
Those colors are very vibrant. I kind I just this is so like very tiny detail, but I would have liked the whole structure within the photo. It's like cropped off the tiniest bit on the far right corner. But I actually like it. I feel like it would have been nice to have somebody like inside the doorway, but I like it.
I like it too, and I think it's a good storytelling shot.
Yeah.
It's framed up the mountain and the beach goers really well, the birds in the distance, and it is kind of this kind of place is the kind of place that you run in to get food and supplies, but your day is spent out on the beach. I actually quite like that one. I'm going to give it a
Yeah.
pick too. So that's three for you. Here's my three. So here we have lady or long-haired man surfing. Can't tell. Um, cool shot, nicely framed.
Yeah.
I, it is very, very centrally framed. It would probably feel more dynamic if the person were placed more to the left of camera left.
Mhm.
But nice focus, nice peak action, good exposure. You could push your highlights a little bit if you wanted to, or even just the overall exposure a tiny bit, but nicely done.
I think
Um,
that's great timing.
boom. This one, the lady on the beach, you never know. But so first of all, look how different the colors are on this to some of the others. Partly due to editing, and partly it does depend on the sun on the day. But this is actually your experience most of the time when you're at a beach, and it's not the Maldives that doesn't look perfect turquoise water. Um, she's probably sitting in front of something that's covered by the rug, but having her cut off is kind of a bit off. It feels unnaturally posed, but maybe it wasn't even posed. It's kind of hard to tell, but I hope she's wearing a high SPF because she looks like someone who might burn easily.
Yeah.
The pretty woman on the rocks here in the denim jacket. Um, it's a it's a nice shot. I don't think it needed such a heavy vignette to give attention to her. Our eye's going to go to her
Mhm.
anyway. The only thing is, and I know it's a little thing here, but if the water is visible in the image, we get a horizon line, and if that's not level, it jumps out. You don't have to be a photographer to notice when it's off level, and that is really obviously off level. It does, kind of, you could say it's a leading line in that it's pointing us down towards her, but
Mhm.
it's as really as simple as that to correct it, and then, you know, it, that even maybe didn't quite get it. Um, it's not a difficult thing. It takes, a second, but I think it does level up. This next one of some people playing around sunset. I mean, this is probably true to how it was to your eye, but for me, it's quite dark, and the big open space would work a lot better if we did have highlights that were reflecting in that beautiful sky better. You could bring up the overall exposure, then bring in actually do it the other way. We could bring in a graduated filter just to brighten up the top, and then have it kind of balancing out, reflecting on the sand, a little bit something like that. But yeah, a little bit too dark. I think I probably did my three there already. I haven't done a call out yet, so if you guys have any questions for us, please send them in the chat to Ask Matt or Ask Steph, and we'll do another round of photos each, and then we'll come back to review them for you. So, Steph, what do you think of these three oafs photographing these five oafs?
Oh man, I really like it. I mean, personally, I think I would take it up from the bottom a bit, and then maybe I think I would have liked it wider just to see more. But I just think I don't know, it's just funny to me.
It is. I want to know
It's
what's
like
over there
I don't
because
know.
whatever they're shooting, we actually
Yeah,
don't see.
like I think it would have been funny if, well, I mean, obviously can't do this, but like if there was like people were submitting two photos and the first one was this and then the second one was like let's just say it's a wider shot, but it's like a girl in a bikini just like posing off to the side or something.
Or one of the sea lions wearing a hot pink bikini, something like that. Very cute. I'm gonna give that
Polka
a.
dotted. Yeah.
Remember your pick, Steph. I'm gonna give that a pick. You gotta.
Ah,
You're normally the pick
yes,
monster.
I would like to give that a pick too.
What about this one? The shore and all of the houses.
Oh. Uh, at first I thought it was kind of a like a little bit dark. I is it maybe like a vignette that was added to it? I think without that it would be a really cool shot, but I like how the water looks. So yeah, it's just a bit dark to me. I don't know.
Yeah, let's see
Maybe
if
it's just
we bring
my computer.
bring the vignette off just a little bit. But no, it is. It has no highlights basically in the image. If we take a look at our
Mm.
histogram, which I've left in the shots for you guys, you can see the top section basically has none. So we could just bring it up a little bit. There you go. Another one for Stephanie. Oh, similar kind of vibe to the last one.
Oh,
From memory, this one
this
was
one's got
taken
more
in
color.
Malibu. And to me, the horizon looks slightly off as well. Yep.
Is it? Yeah, I was gonna. I know it's such a minor detail, but when it's like not leveled, it just kind of makes me feel like there's just something off with the photo when
Exactly.
I
And if
first
it's a
look
beach
at it.
theme competition, I think it's really a fair thing to expect that people will take the 2 seconds it takes to level it.
Hmm.
Just one quick thing. See
Maybe we're
this?
just OCD. We're jerks.
Maybe. One thing, when you do level it out, see how we're so close to having um, the skyline on a third. If you wanted to, bringing it in so then you've got the horizon line right on a third, then you kind of get the break in the rocks on a third as well. That can add a nice kind of symmetry through it. Back to you, Steph.
Actually, for this photo, do you notice it's like brighter on the right corner, top right corner?
Yeah, I guess that's where the sun was.
I don't know. It just looks a little off to me, but I don't know. I feel like this is kind of a grab shot to me, though,
Yeah, a
honestly.
little bit. And because the focus is on the flowers here in
Yeah.
the foreground, my interest is the
Mm,
surfers, to be honest.
yeah.
One more for Stephanie. How about this one? Oh, and potentially not suitable for work if you really zoomed in. I think this is a topless lady, but super saturated and
Oh,
off level again. What do you think of this one, Steph?
yeah. I mean, besides the saturation, the off-leveledness, I kind of actually like how the sky looks in this. Yeah, I don't know. I think the most interesting thing about this is the the tree.
The tree is pretty and it has a natural frame there. So I think there's some
Yeah.
more. So one, getting the top of the left tree would have been really nice. Two,
Hmm.
there's a great frame right here that she could be standing in or whatever that you could have her filling up. and just take a look at how hard the light is there. There are ways that you can pose with that to still, you could, you've got one side of her
Mhm.
body in shadow here, but if she kind of turned to one hip so she was facing out towards the water through her face back, you could create a really, really nice line through her body, keeping the leg position kind of.
Mhm.
That would open it up a lot more, I think. All right, let's. I'll do three more. Send in any questions that you guys may have. Uh, so this one is also a little dark. I think it's also a little off. It's off level. Um, I like it, and even though it is a little dark, I feel like this is one of those Twilight type shots, and it's got a really nice romantic type atmosphere to it. But the framing is off. Like, why is it cropped halfway through her glasses and we're getting a fingertip there? It seems a bit haphazard to have it like that. You could have it just, if you're trying to have it be through her hip, that's fine, but I would just try to not have the fingertip sitting on the edge of the frame. And you could still bump it up half a third of a stop and still have it feel sunsetty. Um, Pick this one with the puppy walking naturally framed through the wood. Uh, Really nice timing, mid stride across the reflected sun in the water. Um, Level. What more could we ask for? Really nice
Yeah,
shot.
I know.
Oh, I undid the flag. There we go. Okay, now this is a nice shot, but it's super pixelated. This is the actual size of the image that was submitted. So folks, I appreciate if you don't have the right size file. It happens sometimes, but just be aware your shot won't look great on the live stream. It's going to come out looking all pixelated like this. And also a reminder, please do rename your files. If you don't, then they won't be included. So please rename them and follow the submitting instructions at macgranger.com/live. It's just a couple of little things we need: the image dimensions, the file name, and getting them in on time. This is, however, a nice shot, and it would be a lot cheaper for wardrobe, Steph. Um,
Oh yeah.
the crop, I think, works fine. I think you've tried to bring the blues down so that they're not overpowering the scene, but it's made them look unnatural in color. Um, this is a shot that adding some flash on her would really level it up to be like a spectacular image. But props to you and the model. I think it was a great attempt. One more shot, and then let's have a look at some questions. So here we go. A little bit similar to the one from Santa Monica. Flowers bottom right, beach and interest in the middle through the horizon. A horizon that is again not level. I'm starting to think, is it that my monitor isn't level or something, because they all seem to be tilting the same way.
Yeah.
That one was
I was like, should
only
we have like a ruler or a leveler?
that was only slightly off. I think it's the
Is that?
perspective in the image. But here, with the focus being further in the distance, I think this works better than the last one, and the time of day is great. Being in the right place at the right time
Mm.
is a big part of the process. If you guys haven't seen it, I have a series called Deep Dives, where there's one on landscape, one on wildlife, and one on portraits, where I talk you through like a dozen or 20 of my images taken at different places and the story behind it, the technical considerations, all of that. And for landscapes, every shot, a big part of it is being at the right spot at the right time. This shot in the middle of the day would probably be lacking color, super contrasty, and just not nice at all. Let's then jump out and see if we have some questions. Bam Bam Wibwo says, hi, Steph.
Hello.
Andrew Dodry, are you going to go into NFT creation? Maybe. I've got some things in the works. I was planning to I had a couple of gallery things planned. I hope you guys are still hearing us. My page is refreshing, and I'm not sure if it's actually going out live. This is a little bit worrying. Leave me a comment in the chat if I'm just talking out of place and this is all coming across correctly. On my end, it looks like we're frozen. Um, do we see some earlier questions? John Muscat, do you have any recommendations or advice for making a photo book and who I should contact in Sydney? Um, well, the photo books that I've made recently that I love are from Sal Digital. They're based in Europe though, so I don't know if they ship to Australia. You can check them. Otherwise, it's been a while since I made one in Australia. I think a decade ago, the best people were Memento, so you might want to check them out. Okay, we're back. Steph, did you see did the live go crazy or are you watching it or not?
Your it froze on me, so I don't know. I'm refreshing it right now.
Okay. Okay. So it seems we're not. Everyone's saying we're streaming okay again now. Up, but now mine is showing that we're refreshing again. Okay. Sorry guys, don't know what's going on. Must be a YouTube thing. We had Steph's computer restart. We had to restart Skype. YouTube has had a couple of bugs for me lately, so I apologize. Freezing in and out, not streaming smoothly. Not much more that I can do at this
Oh,
point. Um, Hopefully, it will be recording and it will get fixed as they process it afterwards. So let's just keep going. If you have questions, please send them
okay.
through. Yobo has shared in there the link for the members only library. Um, the price jumped 60% on Monday, so don't miss out. So, switching back, let's take
Oh, your audio is going in and out for me too.
Bazinga. For you, so maybe it's
Oh, I heard that, Bazinga.
some is maybe it's I don't know what to tell you guys. I'm sorry. This is what we have. I can't just restart everything or the whole stream will crash. So,
Yep.
um, shorts.
Um, I like the pose. I just don't know about the background.
That soft, then you can't even tell that whether it is level or not. Um, cool. I mean,
Yeah.
nice pose though. What about this one with the
hmm
the gentleman and the splash? What do you think about the focus point? Should it be on them or on the water?
Oh, I kind of like it on the water, and
Me
I
too.
kind of wish they weren't in the shot
Well, that's a
because
funny
I could
thing.
see it without them, and it's like it looks nice.
So there it is, one stop brighter. I think you needed them because the shot would be blown out without it. And they've done really well to have the sun on the guy's arm, so
Oh.
we're just getting a little flare, a nice crisp outline on him. If he wasn't there, it would all just be psh, and you would have, um, you know, Sunflare City as well.
But that water is nice.
Okay, so we're hearing that seems like the show is still not running well. I don't know if don't touch the internet, please. We've done a speed test here. Our internet's working fine, so it's something between the software and YouTube that must be causing it. Um, are you still hearing me, Steph? Keep talking, otherwise I'm here in a silent
Yeah, I
room
can
and
hear
then
you.
I don't know if anything's working. Um, the
I
only
can
thing I
hear
can
you.
try is restarting my streaming program, but then there's a decent chance that the YouTube stream is going to shit the bed, so I don't think
Yeah,
I will.
I think it's just YouTube.
Um, this next one of the woman in the black and yellow bikini, what do you think, Steph?
The water looks freaking awesome. I think the pose could be done a little bit better, honestly, and I feel like her face is a little bit overblown, but then again, it's sunlight. I would just say work on like the hand posing on like the leg and up top. Just kind of relax your fingertips and yeah.
It's
Is it leveled? It's leveled.
It's the hardest time of day to be shooting. Look at the light, the
Yeah.
shadow that the piercing she has on her belly is casting. The sun is so top down here. Um, but I don't know what's going on with the image, but it has, look, even in the shadows
Yeah.
here, there's magenta all through this, and her face looks beautiful, but the colors have gone crazy. I don't know what has been done to this
Mhm.
file, but I think it should be undone.
Is it also low res?
um, no, I don't think so. No, it's 4,000 long
No.
edge, so it's more than high. It maybe have been up-resed though. Not
Oh.
sure, but the edit
Mm.
has done something odd to the colors, especially the skin tones.
Hmm.
Talking of colors, take a look at this one. Um,
Whoa. Oh, I see the watermark. Okay.
you are out of focus, Steph. Oh, there you go. You're back again. Yeah, this one could almost be a selective color. It's not, but it's kind of a split tone. Um,
Mhm.
So the shot itself is nicely framed. I think you could use this gap in the reeds to either position the rock or the sun flare a little better. I think the darkening you've done on the top of the frame is too much and quite obvious. But I think the framing is good. I personally don't like the color treatment on it and think that the darkening down on the sky is unnecessary and too much, but that's just personal taste. What do you think of this next one? Gosh, I wish I were there that morning. This looks beautiful. And we're now into watermark territory. It seems these files have all given away the game. But is this one level?
Hmm.
Don't tell me that Lath sent in one unlevel. Oh no,
I
he's
think
pretty much on the ball.
I think he's good.
Beautiful colors. Any thoughts on this one, Steph?
I mean, it almost looks like this is taken like amongst the clouds and it's just the mountains peeking out just because of the way the water
Hmm.
looks. I don't know. I just really like it. It's yeah.
So
I mean,
this is I'm
it's
just
nice. I like the colors.
we picking.
Oh yes, picking.
This now, I'm not saying this is the case on this particular image, but it's just giving me a thought. Most cameras give you the option to, you know, go to 30-second exposure. Now, some of them let you go through to infinite or 20 minutes and stuff too, but most will go to 30 seconds. And you'll often find that sunrise and sunset photos are taken at exactly 30 seconds because that's the longest you can do it without having an external trigger. Even though this one was taken at 30 seconds, I really suggest you bracket your shutter speed and don't shoot them all there. Get some at 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 seconds to get different amounts of movement. Like Steph says, here the water is turned to clouds, but depending on the movement of the water, it may become glassy, it may just look boring, like there's no movement there at all. Um, what about this puppy? And yes, this is my puppy voice.
I mean, is it level? Looks like it might be a little lower on the right. But I think it's more of a grab shot,
It is, and
honestly.
it is. It's nice that the
Yeah.
puppy is out on the rock, um, but the background's a little cluttered. The better one would have been if you could go in and to the left of the dog, if there was a clearer background for puppers on that side, maybe,
Mhm.
and then the hot spot on the fur. You know, if it's your dog, it's the best shot ever. I get it. I take shit photos of my cats every day, but it does feel a little bit of a snapshot. This one of the lady on the beach. Now, this is just the reality when the tide is coming in and out. Trying to keep whole feet in the shot becomes impossible. The only way around it would be for
Yeah.
this woman to take the dog's advice and step on a rock. There's a rock right there behind
Hmm.
her. If she stood on that, she would be out of it. But then you do need to wait a few times for the tide to come in and out so her feet aren't covered in little shells. Um, I don't know if it's just that time of day and it really was quite that golden, but the skin tones do feel a little oversaturated to me. Um, I think it maybe is been pushed a bit because maybe even a brush, because you see out here on this fabric far on the right, it's white, and then in closer to her has a yellow cast, so maybe you actually painted in a bit of extra saturation on her and did it a little bit onto the clothing as well. Or she's wearing fake
I
tan
think
and
the
it's
edge of her knee is a little too red to me, too.
maybe she's wearing fake tan and it's rubbed off on the dress as well. I really don't know, but it
Yeah,
is.
maybe.
This is a kind of pose that, for someone who maybe isn't super experienced at posing, is elegant, isn't too difficult. Hands up, does smooth out bellies and lift
Yeah.
bust and do all of those lovely things. So it is a nice pose, nicely done. Let's do two for Steph and then look back at questions. Oh, I don't know if this is, but I have a guess whose photo this is, just based on previous entries. What do you think, Steph?
Pick.
And feedback beyond pick?
I mean, I like it. I
Come
just
on,
really
you're a
like it. The
professional model
timing,
with
even with
amazing
the
poses. Give some proper feedback, please.
I like the pose. It is very hard to balance on something like that. I mean, it's just all your weight's on one side and then also to like kind of hold on. I would assume her right hand is kind of taking the brunt of the effort of just trying to like hold on. I think the left hand could have been like angled a little bit more so it's not as flat on the driftwood, but
But I
I
think they're trying to
I think
make
it's
her look
nice.
like she is driftwood, though, right? So having it kind of
Yeah.
flattened also works.
Hmm.
Having posed in all kinds of crazy positions, and I'm probably responsible for a lot of those, that's excellent feedback. I do think, though, that this could be a really wide piece of wood and she could just be laying flat on it because her muscles don't look activated. I don't think she is having to hold herself there with her arms, so to speak. Two pieces of advice I
Mm,
would give, though: check your blue and green channels. And again, that sky has been brought down too
yeah.
far. It's way overdone. It doesn't look natural at all. I get that you're trying to separate her out, but then just look at how muted and natural and beautiful her and the wood are, and then the background is way overdone. And then if you wanted to, it's not an imperative, but notice how the top half of her body, and this could just be her skin tone, is quite even, and the tone is really warm and natural. Coming down to her legs, it could be circulation and a cold day, but you could maybe brush that in to try and get that tone through her calves as well. Um, and what about this one, with the woman and her children under the piers?
Pick.
Really? Okay, tell me why.
I like it. I actually really like it. I know they're just like looking away and they're just walking towards the water. Um, but I don't know. I just really like it. But the only issue that I have with this is I think I don't know if it's the angle of like how the photo was taken, but it seems like the structures are just leaning one direction.
Could be the level.
Can't tell.
It could
Is
be.
it? Is it
If
leveled?
it's
I don't
a
know.
shoddy pier, then I wouldn't stand under it. But
Yeah, I wouldn't stand under it either.
anyway, yeah, nice one. Here the use of depth of field does work really nicely to separate them out. Um, okay, here we have a very central rock being smoothed out by the passage of time and water. Um,
Oh.
it is pretty. That's how it kind of blew my mind, and probably because I didn't pay enough attention in history class. But when I was in the Himalayas and you see these kind of pebbles there, the guys were explaining that's because a lot of these mountain ranges used to be at the bottom of the ocean. So these rocks were formed just like this over millions of years of tide, and now they're thousands of feet in the air, but that's how the pebbles were formed. Um,
Hmm.
so I think it's a nice enough subject, but I think you could do a lot more in terms of how to capture it. Maybe taking a different angle. If you took a few steps to your right, you could get the sun out of it. You'd still have the light coming through the water spray that's coming in. It might even separate it out even better for you. Oh, look at this happy puppy. I mean, yes, it's at the beach, but basically the shot is this, and it still tells us we're at the beach, but all of the interest is the dog and how excited they are. So personally, I think that's a stronger shot than having the entire beach with barely any, you know, attention on the dog, like it was taking 5% of the frame before. Um, do we have some questions? Let's jump back and take a little look, and then we'll come back to this photo that looks like it might have a whale in it. Wow. Um, questions,
No,
questions.
that's a seagull.
Oh yeah. Andrew Doherty, what are 5 quick tips for beach photos? Okay, that's a idea for a future video. I would
Mhm.
say go back 20 times and be there at different times a day to try your luck. Try different shutter speeds. Pack a good tripod. Not like oh, that's perfect time. I said pack a good tripod, then I kicked my camera. See, exactly. And 2 more tips. And take a remote timer. They're really cheap. You can get a wired one so you can go beyond the 30 seconds. And take filters so then you can put in a graduated neutral density that looks natural at the time rather than doing it later and then ending up with a really crunchy sky like we've seen a couple of times today. Hi, Patricia Media. Thanks for joining us. Joshua Jones saying the puppy needs to be black and white. I would go with that. I think that could be a nice shot. If anyone has any other questions, feel free to send them in. We're here to have a chat with you as much as we are to just look at pictures. But this is about we're answering all the questions we've had. So let us know if you have some more. But we're making great time,
Yeah.
so I'll switch back. And Steph, what do you think about this seagull whale?
It's funny because I legit thought it was a whale too until I zoomed in and I was like, that's actually a seagull. And because of that, that just makes this shot interesting. I think now I feel like every shot I have to look at, like, is it leveled? I
Not,
think.
not.
No, it's like a little higher on the right.
But then it can also be perspective. If you're not shooting straight on and you're shooting
Yeah.
over this direction, the level can look like it's falling away. Um,
I I like the sky in this. I don't know. I feel like this was probably taken like on the East Coast. It's funny, I was talking to Joey about this earlier today, just about how like the ocean and like the shore looks so different, like depending on where you are in the world. And I think Jersey Shore is kind of gross. You can't even see through the
you're
water.
just thinking about the
And this
people
is
there.
kind of reminiscent of it.
Nah, you
No,
compare it to
like
like Europe.
Matt, you've never gone to the
I
Jersey
have. I
Shore.
was at Cape May, but like last year.
That doesn't really.
That's in New
Could you
Jersey
see
and
your
it's
feet
the
in the water?
shore. Huh? I was swimming in it.
Could you see your feet in the water? Ugh. I mean, I have done it too, but I'm like, since then, I'm like, oh, I don't want to ever go
Oh,
to the Jersey
princess, you go
Shore.
to the Bahamas once and you like can't, you like one of those
I know.
self-hating Jerseyites. I just brightened up the bottom third. I think that works a little bit better. Let us know
Hmm.
who was the photographer, Sean Vine. Let us know where this was taken and was it gross Jersey Shore Beach? Gross. Let me turn off the name again. And oh, this is pretty. This looks like it could be Australia, but
Oh.
it could be anywhere. Um, yeah, the colors are kind of baked, but that is how it looks in the last hours of the day or last minutes. It was Long Island Sound, Stephanie, so much bougier than your right
Oh.
coast, though. Um,
Dang. Okay.
so it is nice, but there's some obvious haloing around the structures. So again, be a little bit more careful with your edit when you're, especially if you're sending them in for a comp. It's fair to assume that they're going to be scrutinized. But I like the composition. I think you could maybe have either a bit more of the houses, a bit less of the open sky, or just bring it in slightly. But yeah, I think that's a pretty one. Steph.
Pick.
It has nothing to do with the beach. It's all to do with that smile.
What? It's
Pick.
the beach.
Yeah, you can see about six
That's not
inches
fair.
of sharp beach in the just in front of its feet.
Oh, fine,
No, I gave it a
fine.
pick. It is a gorgeous shot, but it could also be that it's a gorgeous animal with overcast lighting and also a grab shot because those dogs are always smiling. But it is very, very pretty. Hey, Katie, and no need now because we're almost done. Thanks. Yes, cute dog wins the internet. Of the exposure. This is white fabric, so I think this is at least a stop underexposed. I may, however, not make the adjustment because as it is, it may not set off the YouTube sensors. They may not notice the boobs in that one. And it would be nice to keep this as a... Still feel free to send in artistic shots like that in future, but being that it's the only one we've had entered, why risk our monetization? I would also maybe bring her a little bit to one side, like this kind of a frame. I think is a little stronger. What do you think on this one, Steph? How's that for getting down low to the ground?
Yeah, I mean, I like this. It's very deep where he is swimming at the moment.
Well, I don't know. There's some beaches where it
Right?
gets to
Oh,
like
it's
six
that
foot
deep.
deep in like a few foot. But also with this low perspective, they could be 10 foot out. They could be 10 foot
Pretty
into
far
the water,
out.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, it reminds me of like
I
where
like
that
this one
scene in the
too.
boat from The Talented Mr. Ripley was shot, that kind of the coast of Italy. Yeah, it's a nice one. The timing of the woman on the paddle boat, the Russian spy submarine coming up on the rider frame. We picking?
Yes,
Picking.
picking.
Oh, a little packed up little beach somethings, little beach cabana thingies. Um, yeah, I mean, it's cute. I think maybe getting down low with a wider angle lens could tell a more interesting story, bringing them up on the, like you being lower to the ground. Um, and I hope you tried both directions, like shooting the back of these things as well. The white wicker may come up really nicely with the direct light on. Um, yeah, nice. And, oh, that's actually our last one. So we are now going to choose our
Ooh.
winners. So if you have questions, send them in now so we can come back and answer them before we finish. But let's take a look and choose out a winner or two. Keeping in mind the theme is
Oh man.
beach, and it should feature the beach,
Yes, yes,
not
yes.
just
Okay.
have a cute dog. So we have
Mhm.
the woman in the dress with the seagull flying overhead for air support. Bill Borg, the Crystal Cove.
Mhm.
Dwayne Carr, the men shooting I don't know what. Ian Burton, the woman walking her dog. Leigh Stevens, sunrise, sunset. Philip Livingstone, not who I guessed this shot was from actually, but the driftwood. Stelly with the, I'm going to say Capri shot. Some great shots there. I have. Thanks for joining us,
Yeah.
everyone.
Well, we did really good on
Yeah,
time.
perfect timing. Um, Follow my
Yeah.
Instagram if you're not already, folks. I'll share some little behind the scenes as I go along photographing this fitness competition this weekend. And I'm pretty sure tomorrow night, so in about 32 or 34 hours from now, so it would be Sunday morning in America, the the actual posing competition should be streaming live somewhere on the internet. It's the model Honey that you've seen on the channel in the past few months. It's her last comp of the year and she's a front runner, so fingers crossed for her. And you can join in and cheer her along from your computer, hopefully. So please check it out. Um, John, yes, I've announced the theme several times. Check mattgranger.com/live for that. It's selective color. Philip Johnson still hanging. Sorry about that. There's nothing we can do when